All right, guys, welcome in. We're going to try to pop up a little morning stream here before I go back to the doctor's. Spent 7 hours at the doctor's yesterday. I don't know, some of these weather fronts come in, man. They really, with all the environmental pollutants in the air, really mess with you. But we got tornado warnings this morning over Louisiana, Mississippi. First thing this morning. Let me get a full shot of this. If I got to mute out, I may have to hack up. Who knows? Really struggling a little bit this morning, breathing and stuff. I think my wife is too. Yeah, tons of tornado warnings this morning. Down to the south. Weird little thunderstorm pop up. I seen that earlier where they were just popping up and there really wasn't no clouds over here. We got thunderstorm warnings. Where was that? Was that Illinois or Missouri? Yeah, Illinois. Anyway, we'll hit a couple articles here, then we'll yeah, they're heavy stuff going on down there in Florida, everywhere, man, really. Let's go over here and look. So coming out of, this came out yesterday, stress change calculations provided clues to aftershocks in the 2023 Turkey earthquakes. So now they're saying since September 6, magnitude 7.8, and the 7.5 struck southern Turkey near the border of Syria. We got over 12,000 dead so far, which is going to be even more. But they were saying somewhere in here that was more like closer to an 8. Yeah, stress calculations based on the preliminary data suggest that the magnitude 7.5 brought closer to a 7.8 rupture. Now, I didn't get to really look in to see where the pressure come from, but we got a lot of space weather that could be part of it, and also, you know, man stuff. So we'll have to get into that a little deeper tonight. We also, back on the 6th, we had an earthquake in western New York, 3.8. Just going to kind of zing through here. And then we got a strange, unprecedented vortex spotted around the sun's north pole. A lot of weird stuff going on in the skies. A huge filament of solar plasma is broken off the sun's surface, circling its north pole like a vortex of powerful winds. Scientists have no clue what caused it. Talk about a polar vortex. Material from a northern province just broke away from the main filament, circulating in a massive polar vortex around the north pole of our star. Space weather, while sharing a video sequence showing the odd wind world, or the whirlwind implications for understanding the sun's atmospheric dynamics above 55 degrees cannot be overstated. Other solar physicists shared excitement about the unusual phenomenon, but what exactly and why is it important? Well, he's never seen a vortex like this. Something odd is happening at the sun's 55-degree latitudes with clockwork regularity once every solar cycle, an 11-year period characterized by EB and the flow and the generation of sunspots and eruptions. Scientists are finally peering inside the sun's middle corona. Describes as a hedgerow in the solar plasma, appears exactly at the 55-degree latitude around the sun's polar crowns every 11 years. Scientists know it has something to do with the reversal of the sun's magnetic field that appears once every solar cycle, but has no clue what drives it. Now, we just had the Earth just change rotations, so they all kind of go together. Yeah, I've seen that stuff on the HAARP. I'll dig into that. There was some pretty interesting stuff about that, but also there's other stuff too. Got to get a little deeper into that. But there's a lot of, it's always multifaceted. There's always multi things going on for all this stuff to come together. So once every solar cycle, it forms at the 55 degree latitude, starts to march up to the solar poles. And there's a big question why around it. And why does it only move toward the pole one time and then disappears, comes back magically 3 or 4 years later in the same region? Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to dig into. And we notice, I always talk about the day after tomorrow, how they're cooling the Earth. And here's an article from back on the 4th. Day after tomorrow, windshield felt in North America, record smashed. We went over that in previous broadcasts. Some of these are old because I had them up for a couple of days. Couldn't go live, been hurting too bad. Mount Washington is cold as Mars. Record-breaking wind chills clock in below 110 below zero. This is back on the 4th. Just try to get caught up on some of these articles I've had up since like Monday. Mount Washington records coldest wind chill in history on a planet that is supposedly global warming. We got Lake Namachito gained 89 billion gallons of water during winter storms. And here's where it's at now. We've been talking about this, so releasing it. The lake gained more than 89 billion gallons since December 1st, according to the data. On December 1st, the lake held 60,285 acre-feet of water. By January 11th, it has risen to 275,000 acre-feet. By January 17th, it hit a record high of 334,235 acre-feet, equal to about 851 gallons, with an increase of 450% in about 6 weeks. But they only have it at 87% capacity because they're draining it out. They want to say they're worried about more incoming rain. It just goes to show they don't have the management, man. They'll take out these, that's why these dams are breaking like every year. Because the infrastructure, they talk about it, but they don't do anything about it. Yeah, we're definitely in some weird times right now. There's major stuff going on, which we'll get into that more tonight. Hopefully I feel better tonight, man. Get my breathing back. A lot of tightness right now. Oh, yeah, we got our super chat back. Hey, thanks out there. I just noticed. We got both our channels back somehow. This channel has been demonetized for 5 years, and it just come back. So that's hopefully going to help down the long run. I mean, it'll take 6-7 months before it makes any kind of effect, but hopefully I'm still around then. So we had the snow moon is the smallest micro moon of the year, rises tonight. That was back on the 5th. I filmed the moon a little bit the other night with my regular camera. I showed some of that. Upload a video on that. It wasn't very good. The background sound was too loud. I didn't know I was in the hospital when I made that video. I didn't have a headset on. Yeah, I'm drinking mullein tea right now. I got half mullein tea in my coffee. And I took the emollient drops. I'm a big fan of emollient. You know, we got major, you know, you got to feel sorry for the people out here. Just their whole cities, and I mean, it's just devastating down there in Syria and all, Turkey and all them places. And if it was some kind of a targeted event, man, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. Yeah, I've smoked it too. It does help. Harsh, but it helps. I think a lot of it's this weather pattern that come in here, because my wife's hacking really bad too. Just a lot of chest tightness, plus the doctor crap that I got to go through today. Went in there, was in there 7 hours at the doctor yesterday. Probably going to be in there 5 or 6 hours today. So our solar winds are, well, this was yesterday. Solar winds were up at 534 kilometers a second. Ears are ringing. We had a big sunspot emerging. Apparently, large sunspot is emerging over the sun's southeastern limb. Astronomers with solar telescopes should point their optics right there to see what's coming. It produced a dramatic explosion from the far side of the sun on the 7th. Strange tides in the plasmasphere. Tides are one of the oldest phenomena known to physics. Ocean waters rise, fall like clockwork in response to the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon. Nothing surprising about the tides, yet researchers studying tides have just found a big surprise. There are tides in Earth's plasmasphere that are very strange. See if I can play this. Pretty weird looking. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Now, how do I get out of it? The plasmasphere is a lopsided donut of cold plasma inside Earth's magnetic field. It is created by leakage from the top of the Earth's atmosphere, the ionosphere. You know, where CERN and all the ionospheric heaters are affecting the ionosphere. And there's missions going on at HAARP. There's missions going on at all these other ionospheric heaters. They're not just HAARP. There's like 14 or 15 of these things affecting the ionosphere, not to mention all the rockets going up, busting holes into it. You can think of the plasma pause as the surface of a plasma ocean surrounding Earth. Using a 40-year database of satellite observations, we report the first identification of lunar tides on the surface of the plasma ocean. Here, let me get a drink. Man, I spilled coffee on my leg. Coffee and emollient. The moon's gravity would stretch and modulate the shape of the plasmasphere. After all, the plasmasphere is made of matter, and matter responds to gravity. But the response is not what the researchers expected. Instantly, the I can't talk today. The lunar plasmaspheric tide forms a new percent of bulge that is 90 degrees ahead of Earth's moon axis, which is different from the high tide in Earth's liquid oceans. This inexplicable offset was verified nearly 36,000 plasma ball crossings, various spacecraft over almost 4 solar cycles from 1977 to 2015. They don't know what's going on. Researchers aren't certain, but they believe gravity and electromagnetism have joined forces to produce a new kind of tidal effect. Maybe they need to look into the CERN and the ionospheric stuff like that and see if they're affecting it. We had a solar flare radio blackout 2 days ago. Stretched almost 100,000 kilometers across the surface of the sun. With at least 2 dark cores larger than Earth, a fast-growing sunspot crackling with solar flares. The strongest so far, a M6 class flare on February 7th, caused a shortwave radio blackout over the Pacific Ocean. Two fireballs. And this was on the, what date is this one? This was on the 8th, so this was yesterday. Here's that big explosion coming out the sun. That's a big blast. That's what's coming around right now. It's only a matter of time before we get a Carrington event. And then here's the Earth-facing one just popped right there. That's recent. Take a look at the earthquakes here. I mean, this is pretty wild. Normally we see the pressure move up and around. Like I said, I didn't get to follow this, see exactly where the pressure come from, because usually we get the big deep earthquakes. We follow the pressure around, and then we know it's going to spread. And wow, this is still back on the 7th. Let me reload this. Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, just look at that. Like, that's a target event. And what gets me is, why is the antipode not being hit yet? Normally when you get a big quake and a bunch of quakes like this, the antipode's going to get hit, which would be somewhere over around where the deep earthquake zones are. And let's see here. We'll be turn this down to the last couple of days. And we have no earthquakes right here. This can't be right. See, we had a 5.5 over there. Where's the most recent? Oh, now that's about where the antipode is. So maybe they are starting to hit. So now we have a 5.4. And it's just real close to where that big ice chunk is. Yeah, most likely probably was a target. Like I said, I'll spend more time on that hopefully tonight, or while I'm in the doctor's, I'll do some more better research on this. Like I said, I was in there 7 hours yesterday. Hopefully it won't be that long today. Yeah, I planned on going live Monday. I'd plan on going live every night, but it seems like something happens, and I just can't go every night. But I do set up, and then if I can go, I go. If I can, I can't. Just like I didn't even know if I was going to be able to go this morning because I can't hardly breathe. Yeah, still got tornado warnings going. Look at aerosols being deployed over here off the coast of Florida, over Georgia, right out ahead of the storm. And I thought I had, yeah, it's a little closer version. I don't know if any of these things are on the ground or anything like that. Let me see if I can jump into the dual pole. Yeah, some of these storms coming through, man, they're really like just toxic storms, man. It causes thunderstorm asthma, stuff like that, because of all the particulates that have been injected into the atmosphere via all the things that we talk about. So right now it's not here. I probably got to get on the right area. Yeah, I've been in a lot of pain, man. My liver and my right lung and my back is really messed up for the last week or two. That's where the new tumors are. All the natural stuff I'm taking is not working. I mean, it may be working a little bit, not enough. It's not keeping ahead of what's going on. So I got to go a little more drastic here just to get them shrunk down enough that I can try to keep battling it more natural. Like I've been going to juicing more, pretty much on a liquid diet right now. But I'll pull through it, man. I got God on my side. It's tough times, man. You got to go through the tough times to get to the better times. All right. Let's try to hit play here. If it'll go. I'm trying to get it to play. Why is it not playing? There we go. See if I see any kind of rotation in here. Any kind of beam action. Look at that. We got beams coming in. Beams coming up. Looks like a pretty good straight line wind situation right there. Really wasn't seeing much of a rotation. Let me try the base reflectivity. Yeah, I've watched all them I've done all that stuff, man. I've been on natural since day one, and it did help. But when you're like, mine was caught way too late. Like mine's metastasized throughout my whole body pretty much. It's surprising I'm still going. I would be going if it wasn't for the natural and some of the conventional. Small cell is some bad stuff, man. Especially if it's metastasized through the body, man. You got to take drastic measures. And even the doctors I listen to, that I have friends that have cured theirs with just the fin bends, but they weren't near as advanced as I was. And even the doctor that talks about it, he also did some of the chemo and the radiation and took a pill and then battled with the fin bends. So sometimes you got to go a little deeper and then fight the poison they give you, and then get it down to where you can battle it, and the natural will take over and knock out everything they did to you to get rid of the pains and all that. Yep, been on both of them since day one there, IFBB Pro. I've been on that day one. I keep telling everybody I've been on that stuff since day one. Small cell metastasized is the worst one you can have. Already lost 2 relatives from it months and months ago because they wouldn't listen to me. But I'm battling, man. I'm still going, man. For stage 4 throughout my body, I'm doing good. And in my brain, which I got everything took care of my brain, man. They zapped that out with the targeted radiation. It's gone. Just got to keep it from getting back up there. So anyway, it's I'm not really seeing no spin-ups, man. They must be just radar indicated, and they must be weak if they are tornadoes. We'll find out more later today. Let's look at the cirrus clouds. Some winter storm warnings and watches up there in Iowa, Wisconsin, and of course thunderstorms and tornadoes. Still, we'll see if we have any tornado warnings right now as it comes up more up to date. That's so weird, these little ones keep popping up here. There we go. Let me take them off so we can see better. And then enhance the contrast. Yeah, it's everything, man. It's in the environment. You can't forget about, look at that job down there over Florida and over here by California. All kinds of artificial cirrus clouds all over the place, and then all out ahead of the storms. And I'm telling you, this storm right here that's been coming through, man, it's nasty. There's a bunch of stuff. Look at a U shape. They come down, did a U, and then back up if you can see my mouse. I don't think you can see that. Let me get my broadcast, see if you can see my mouse. Here, I can zoom in on that. There's a big U shape. But yeah, that's why thunderstorm asthma has been going up. We know it's all the particulates being deployed. Look, there's that U shape. Look at this, man. This is nuts. We've had the Hurricane Hunter plane flying over these storms, dropping things into them. So they're feeding that, kind of wanting to pull it, and then there's a big spray job just above it over Georgia. Yeah, they'll keep it clear for the Super Bowl. You watch every year they do. All this stuff is all linked together with the weather derivatives. I mean, this is just mass aerosols. It was, take a quick look over by Florida. They were getting hit. It looked like pretty good. And the bunker fuel operations has still been stopped. And now we're seeing now's the time where they're seeing how they were changing the patterns. So yeah, they're getting waxed over here. And then I got tons of articles to go in, if I can, tonight. Some of them I can't even talk about yet. I'll just show you some of the headlines here. They're censoring this story right here. I'm not going to say none. I'm just going to show that. Now we're going to start finding out why the egg issue is going on. And that was back from July. And if you try to search for it, you get this. We'll get into that tonight. Anyway, I just want to do a little short show. I got to go start getting ready. I got to go in at 7:30 in the morning. Hopefully I'm not in there all damn day like I was yesterday. Anyway, good to have a super chat back and all that, man. Hopefully that'll help us out. 6-7 months down the road, we'll might be able to get some of our revenue back to pay for our Rumble and our broadcaster fees and all that stuff. Anyway, guys, here, I'll show you some of the, if I got them here. I'm going to show you guys how to make better moon photos. If you like to film the sky, film the moon or whatever, I'm going to show you how to make take any video from any camera and take your videos, and I'm going to show you some programs that'll help you do this here. Where am I going? So here's some of the pictures. I might have showed these, but I'm going to show you what videos that I took to get these, and I'll show you how I did it. It's real simple. I just got to find the folder where I took the where in the world did I wonder if it's on my network. Huh. I may not have that computer up. No, I don't have that computer up. It's not on the network. All right, I'll show that later. Anyway, guys, armor on, much love, eyes to the sky. If I see anything crazy when I'm in the doctors, I'll pop one off. I'll have my laptop with me. Hey, thanks out there, Canada. Anyway, guys, have a good day. Hopefully they don't take me out today. Which I doubt, because I don't mess around with these guys. Anyway, hopefully we'll be on tonight. Much love. Armor up. Eyes to the sky, man. The skies are going to tell us the truth, man. The skies give us all the signs we need. And then have the armor on. All right, so I'm going to jump off here. Much love.